When you write a book, especially a book that is about your life, this story that was so important to you, all of a sudden becomes not yours anymore. It becomes a part of the world. And I know that we are all accustomed to getting feedback, and yours most likely comes in like one-on-ones with your supervisor or like 360 reviews from your peers that are slightly annoying. And mine are one-on-ones with like idiots on Twitter and 360 reviews from strangers that are posted on the internet. So, why am I showing you an Amazon review for a snow brush? Is it because I live in Minnesota? Maybe. Something to know about Lisa D, who has since changed her Amazon username, is that she's only written 2 Amazon reviews. In all of her time on Amazon, she's only taken the time to review 2 products. One is this snow brush, which sounds amazing. Like 5 stars. It just lived up to her expectations. The other product that she reviewed was my book. 2 stars. 2. There's a couple ways of looking at this, and one is like, this snow brush company should be so proud. Like, good work, good for them. Put this in your marketing materials. Like, you nailed it. Okay, she can reach all the way across the hood of her car. Okay, it's good. The bristles are like tight and compact. They remove the snow. Works as advertised. Great. The second is, Nora, why are you digging through the other reviews of a woman who gave you a 2-star review? Does that seem mentally healthy? Are you my therapist? Because she said, no, it's not. And I was like, but read it. But the point is, it's, for me at least, it's much easier to look past anything positive anyone has ever said to me and just go to the 2-star reviews. Just the 2-star, and they might not be on Amazon. They could just be like an interaction that you had with somebody. Anything that sort of reconfirms an insecurity that you have about yourself. Which brings me to the next way of looking at this, which is, I wrote that book, actually wrote 2 versions of this book, just so you know. The first one that I turned in to my editor, I turned in this book. I'd never written a book. I turned it in. I feel like so good about it. I turned it in on the deadline, and she replied, no one meets their deadline. And I was like, hire more Midwestern writers, because that's just, I didn't know. It says the word dead in it, so I assumed it was imperative that I get it in. I sent it from 2 different email addresses in case one got stuck on the way. I was just very much going to meet that deadline, and then I didn't hear from her for 2 weeks. So I thought, I'm amazing. I'm like, such a good writer. She doesn't have edits. Good job. And then she called me, and I am a person who does well with like effervescent, like I'm basically like a golden retriever. I'm like me, and then I'll like you, and then we can just like each other, and everything will be great. And my editor is from New York, and she's like a fancy cat. And she's always like, I love you, and I'm like, do you? Like, okay. So she called me, and she was like, Nora. I'm like, yes, dripping sweat. Immediately just burst into sweat. And she's like, I read your pages, and I can tell they were so important for you to write. So important. So I feel like that's great. It's great that you have those for yourself. And I was like, yeah, it is. And she's like, yeah, so maybe just keep them for yourself, and like, maybe just, throw them away or recycle them. Maybe just drag them to your desktop, empty the trash, whatever you want to do with it. I'm exaggerating now, but that's what I heard, okay? That's what I heard. I was like, okay, I'll give up if that's what you're telling me. And then she brought up this memory that she had of the first time that we had met, when I went all the way to New York from Minnesota. I went to the HarperCollins building, which is very fancy, and I sat at this huge table with her and the publisher and like a bunch of other people in blazers. And we talked about my book proposal. And she was like, you told me the funniest stories about Aaron, and I thought, I want to know him and I want to know her. And what you gave me was just a sad story. Do you think you're a sad story? No. I don't think I'm a sad story. I don't think Erin was a sad story. What Lisa had written was that she wanted a sad story. Now, I'm really happy with the book I wrote. And I didn't write a book for Lisa. I wrote a book that was for Erin and for me and for what we had together. So as much as I can in this world where we get a lot of feedback, I try to think, is this person an Erin or are they a Lisa? Because honestly, if you would have shown me that review before I wrote a book, I would have been like, I won't try, thank you. Even if you would have been like, but there are a bunch of nice ones, I would have been like, nope, ship shape, won't do it. If you would have told me, Nora, after you start Still Kickin', you're gonna have to pay a butt ton in taxes that you weren't planning on, I would have been like, great, I won't try. If you would have told me, oh, you're gonna make this podcast and it's going to mean something to so many people and also it's gonna make you broke, I would have been like, I'll skip it, thanks, because I mean, there's always a million reasons not to try something, honestly. Like, there are a million reasons not to grow. It's painful, okay? We might not be perfect at it. We might embarrass ourselves. We might fail or get a B+, which same thing to me. Like, we think that's the worst that could happen, is that we just might not be great at it. And that's not the worst that could happen.